2023 is nearly over, and wow, I don't think this year could have been beaten because of the sheer quality of the games we got, along with a few other games. Seriously.
We can't find it.
Stop it. Anyways, 2024, there's going to be some incredible games that we need to run through. Over 20 PlayStation games coming in 2024 that I'm so excited for. Now, I know we're all waiting for that remake of Sands of Time. Yeah, I think that's going to be coming a lot later, just because of how good the game was looking. But we have Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown coming real soon. I'm not really a fan of the Metroidvania style games, but I played a little bit of Will-O-the-Wisps, and I got really addicted to that. And this looks even better. Play as Saragon, a young member of the warrior clan. You travel to the cursed city to rescue the kidnapped prince. It's a quick-paced game, jumping, sliding, using air dash to travel between certain points, and it looks like we're going to get a lot of different weapons in the game. Swords, blades, and learning how to parry at the right time is going to be very important. This looks so addictive. And by that story trailer, dying over and over again is just part of the process. Everything is interconnected, secret rooms, moving puzzles. I feel like I would want to play this more on my Switch, so I think I might buy it on my Switch just because it will run at 60 FPS on Nintendo Switch. You know, if I had the PS Portal, I would love to play that on there. It would look great. All out of stock. You also find time crystals which can be used to purchase new upgrades and weapons. Remember, it's Ubisoft, so don't be tempted to buy that online currency. Don't. We have The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster coming soon. The physical release will be around $40, I believe, and it's a $10 or £10 upgrade if you have the game physically or digitally. Apart from this insane upscale of graphics on this thing, there are a few new things that are coming. You have that roguelike survival mode called No Return, and you'll be able to play with existing characters and past characters. Still trying to use Joel to sell this damn game. You have a guitar-free play mode if you really like that in the game, and there are also 3 additional missions playable in the remaster, which didn't make the original, and it's interesting that they're going to stay in their pre-development stage. That's quite cool. And it's a hard pass for me because I was depressed for 2 weeks and I just can't get over that damn story. And Naughty Dog, I've lost hope in you. I've lost all hope. Now, I haven't played much of Tekken in such a long time. I'm talking back in the old days, but so many people are buzzing for Tekken 8. Now, there is a story to this, which I didn't even know because when I used to play, it was all about just fighting with all these characters. But it does take place 6 months after the events of Tekken 7, and the game will focus on the final confrontation between the father and son in this game. Now, when you just look at the fighting, it just looks incredible. It brings me back to my old days. So many people are buzzing for Tekken 8, and that is literally around the corner. I can't remember the last time I played a Tekken game. I'm talking years ago. It looks incredible, the different moves you can do. Obviously, I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I haven't played much of Street Fighter, but I think Tekken 8 has to be on my list. Are you excited for Tekken? Now, I've never played any of the Like a Dragon games, but we have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and it's an RPG turn-based game. Now, I'm not too much of a fan of the turn-based games, but I played Sea of Stars, and that was really good. And looking at the gameplay of this one, this looks really freaking cool, and there is so much to do in this game. So it's a continuation of Yakuza Like a Dragon, and the game is an open world game featuring 2 protagonists, Ichiban and Kazuma. What I have read and seen is that Ichiban Kasuga will be the main character throughout the whole game, and Kazuma Kiryu will be a supporting character. You can select up to 4 players in your party to fight a variety of enemies. You'll be able to also move your characters manually before launching an attack or skill. And there are different jobs you'll be able to take in the game. Some of them look super cool, like working as a delivery driver, picking up food orders, and pulling off tricks in the process. This looks super fun, the graphics look great, and the gameplay might be on my list. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I know recently we got that story/gameplay trailer, and I went into it thinking, you know what, let's have low expectations, but let's see what this gameplay really is like. Now, the positives: game looks neat, the cutscenes, the story, the fact that you have to take down the Justice League because they have turned bad because they have been taken over by Brainiac, who has taken them over. Now, when it said gameplay and story trailer or whatever, I thought we were going to see like maybe a first playthrough, but it was just a lot of freaking cutscenes. I still don't know, like, where do you start off? Do you have an open world area? It was just so confusing. There was just so many cutscenes that looked really good, and there was hardly any gameplay in the gameplay trailer section showcase thing. There was only really snippets of it, and I'm still not convinced on this game. I feel like the game will run like Avengers, where you go into a menu with lots of damn screens. The gameplay they showed, the combat looks okay. To be honest, these characters, they're a bit boring. Like, I don't feel very excited to like play as Captain Boomerang, King Shark, maybe Harley Quinn, but even that, I don't really feel excited to play these characters. It's not really exciting. Don't know about you guys, but you gotta let me know. After 8 years since the release of the first game, I never played it, but it's the third person for the intergalactic shooter with Helldivers 2, which looks a lot of fun. Now that I've got some more friends on PlayStation now, I might be able to get a few people online and actually play this, because this is solely focused on co-op. Although I have heard you can do solo missions, it will get harder, so you will need some help and some friends to play online. So the story is that it takes place in a galaxy where alien invaders are starting to slip through the cracks and your planet is under threat. As you are a Helldiver, you'll be facing many different alien forces, so that means there'll be a lot of weapons, loadouts to fit a lot of different styles. If you like close combat, there are weapons that will help you with this, as well as weapons to help you from a distance. And the gameplay trailer they released, the combat looks fun, and if you get a few friends online, this looks addictive. Finally, Pacific Drive is coming out February, and I've had my eye on this game for quite a while. I just love it when developers take the risk to produce something different, and this is one of them. It's an indie game, so what do you expect? They actually care about their product, unlike some AAA companies that just want to recycle the same crap just so they can guarantee a buck. So Pacific Drive is all about you and your car and surviving this paranormal activity that is going on in the Olympic exclusion zone. A strange incident happens and you are stuck somewhere in this zone. You have your home base or your garage, and as you go along in the game, you'll be able to upgrade your car in different ways, like from giving it a new look or adding enhancements. This is first person, and you will try to escape these zones and get to the extraction point. So you're gonna have to be quick to drive through these paranormal activities, and wow, it just looks great. And I heard that it's coming to PSVR 2 as well, and this is 100% on my list. I'm definitely supporting these developers. This looks good. It's different. It's different. Can you believe Skull and Bones is actually gonna come out? I'm trying to think what I used to look like when this first got announced. Bruh. Recently, Ubisoft sent out beta codes for some YouTubers to try out, and I was looking at Luke Stevens' live where he was playing the game, and it's a lot better than what I thought, from what anyone really thought, really. It's basically about building your ship and traveling the seas during the late 17th century. There is co-op to this game, and your goal is to become the most infamous pirate there is. I never played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but it's basically that, well, you know, the ship part, and I heard that was super fun. You will travel on foot at your home base and gather resources, cook food for you and your crew. There's no combat or anything like that when you're on foot. It's literally just to get supplies, materials, and then you get back on your ship. I'm not sure this game is for me, but for any of you pirate fanatics, you probably will like this game. I know there's a lot of hype for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that is finally coming in 2024. I still need to play through 7 Remake. So if you're thinking about playing that game, you probably need to play 7 Remake before playing this one, and that's what I need to do as well. And this will be the second game out of a trilogy, and that is confirmed. Looking at the recent gameplay, I'm just wondering whether I would like the combat, because I've only played Final Fantasy 16 and it's more of a traditional combat, which I prefer, but with the combination of them both, this may be even better. As you carry out normal attacks, you will build up an action gauge which can be used for complex moves. These could be spells or special attacks that will relate to your character's weapons. You can also perform more powerful moves by combining 2 characters' attacks at the same time. There are new mini games, new chocobo mechanics. So my goal is to spend time with 7 Remake before ever attempting to play this one. I've got time. You know me, guys. I love my horror games. Alone in the Dark is coming, and that was delayed from 2023. It was only delayed just because they were like, yep, it's a packed out year, packed out October. Forget it. We're going to go again in the new year. They are remaking this one that was released all the way back in '92. The game that inspired the Resident Evil series to start up. And this is set in the 1930s, where you follow Emily Hartwood and Edward Carnby, an investigator. She's looking for her uncle, and weird shit starts going on. So you will be playing as these 2 characters, and they will intertwine one way or another, I'm expecting. If it's anything like Resident Evil, I am all for this damn game. Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming March 22nd. There's a big fan base for this game, but I did not play the first one. It did come out in 2012. A single player RPG, customizing your own character and your party. A fantasy themed world with magic, bows, and different weapons. Capcom have promised that you have the freedom to approach situations and enemies in many different ways. It's also 4 times bigger than the original. The party you do have will be AI controlled, as they will aid you in battle, and if you really want to enjoy the story, then I'm assuming yes, you need to go play the original. You have these huge monsters and enemies that look incredible, and you can even climb and jump on top of them to attack them, so there's a lot of variety. These monsters are crazy, and you can even use the environments during battles. Now, if you absolutely loved Ghost of Tsushima, oh my gosh, like I did, Rise of the Ronin, one of my most anticipated games of 2024. The combat looks so fast-paced, exciting, just looks like a joke. You can even have some guns in the game to help. It's the way you travel around as well in this open world, which I cannot wait to explore. Set in the late 19th century during Bakumatsu? I think I said that right. The final years of the Eco period. I'm not too familiar with this, but it's based in Japan, so you know it's going to be incredible. Looking at the description of the game, there will be dialogue and mission choices that will be critical to the plot, like whether to assassinate or protect certain figures, which sounds amazing. So it's rich, full of multiple choice. You can choose what sort of playstyle you want, such as close up with swords and weapons, or if you want to focus from more far away, you can choose certain firearms. And the way you can use your flying thingamajig, your glider, it reminds me of Assassin's Creed. Tales of Kenzera. Now, I saw this game at the Game Awards, and it looks like Prince of Persia. This is rich, full of culture, beautiful art, a single player game where you play as a grieving boy named Zeu, who reads a tale written by his late father, and you adventure into the lands of Kenzera, bargaining with the god of death in order to bring your father back. You have cosmic powers, a lot of courage, so the story sounds quite deep. Now, I know I said Rise of the Ronin was one of my most anticipated games, but Black Myth Wukong is one of my most anticipated games of 2024. To be honest, I was sold when I first saw the first gameplay, and it looks so damn good. It's a Souls-like game, so you know it's gonna be freaking hard, but I don't mind. I can do it. And it's based on Chinese mythology in the 16th century. You play as this monkey, Sun Wukong, also known as the Monkey King, and your goal is to obtain ancient texts from India. Along the way, you will face numerous challenges, mythical creatures, huge bosses, and so much more. There looks like there's so much depth and secrets to this game. Now, the new trailer I saw, this looks like a current gen game. The graphics, the lighting, the facial expressions. Now, I haven't said that about many games. It reminds me a little bit of Demon's Souls. That was such an amazing graphical game. Visions of Mana got announced, but no release date at the moment by Square Enix, and this is a new entry in the mainline series for the first time in over 15 years. So you know there's going to be a fan base for this game. You play as an unnamed hero trying to restore the Tree of Mana. Not sure if this will be for me, but the art style is quite beautiful, rich, full of colors, and the combat looks a lot of fun. Star Wars Outlaws is another game I'm really excited for. There's some bangers in 2024. This has been described as being one of the most ambitious Star Wars games ever. Made by Ubisoft, and this is described by the developers to be the first ever open world game. And this is described by the developers to be one of the first ever open world games in the Star Wars franchise. Set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. You play as Kay Vest, a thief, and you'll be working with and against criminals, corrupt Imperials throughout the game. Now, I'm more impressed with what we saw in the gameplay footage a while back. And wow, that third person view, you have dialogue options, you also have a reputation meter, which this is going to be very important. Along with the dialogue options, there are so many choices for you to make. You can play the game a certain way. You have the choice to stab what people in the back and work with this person, or try and bribe this person. And then if you want to play that again, you're like, I wonder how that would turn out if I didn't bribe that person. So there's a lot of replayability, and I'm just intrigued to know how that's going to work. I love the sneaking around, using stealth, and also you have a little friend called Nyx that will help you in certain situations. You can use melee attacks at close. That gun of yours looks incredible, and the different options when shooting to choose what sort of shots you want, I also noticed in the trailer. I love the way she escaped on her bike, and it looks so beautiful, and the map is going to be absolutely huge with planets that are described to be built from the ground up. There is something about open world games that I absolutely love, and you're going to have your bike there to get around the map a lot easier. Hollow Knight Silksong got announced quite a few years ago, and it looks like it's coming 2024, a Metroidvania game, and it has lovely art to it. I've never played the first one, but the protagonist now has a voice where the first one was completely silent. You are a lethal hunter hornet, and you will journey to all new lands, discover new planets, and battle vast hordes of bugs and beasts, and uncover ancient secrets. There will also be side quests in the game, and also a journal to keep track of them. But the character is also described to have more of an acrobatic feel to it. Sword of the Sea looks quite cool, and you are a wraith resurrected in the desolate Necropolis. Sounds like Newtropolis. And your task is to restore life. You will ride or surf across beautiful landscapes, but there will be obstacles in your way. Not much has been shown else of this game. Now, I've spoken about Final Fantasy XIV a while back, an incredible popular MMO, and I played quite a lot of it, and I actually got really addicted to it. I just stopped because there's just other games to play. So if you're thinking about giving this game a go, summer of 2024, you will have a new story arc in the game called Dawntrail, and you will have new stories, new locations, but not only that, it's going to have a graphical update to improve it for current gen consoles. So it's going to be huge. If you want more details on that, just click the link because I dedicated a whole video to this. Now, I'm not sure if this is coming in 2024. I heard it probably is. Not sure, it might not. Assassin's Creed Red. Well, that's the code name. Now, what we do know about the game is that there will be two playable characters, male and female, and I do believe that the male character may be based on Yasuko. Not sure if I said that right. Supposedly, it's the first African samurai in the late 1500s. Not sure about the female character, but supposedly they will be completely different from one another. I've heard cool details like you will use the shadows in the game to conceal yourself from enemies, as well as take out torches to stay in the dark. Destructible environments, and yeah, there's not much else to say about this game. Probably be the end of 2024. It's Ubisoft, they always need time for patches. Now, you know me, guys. My favorite game of 2023, Final Fantasy 16. There's also a new DLC coming with Final Fantasy 16 The Rising Tide, and supposedly it will answer some of the plot holes in the game. This has been described to be more story focused than the first DLC, Echoes of the Fallen. No spoilers, but throughout the game there are big hints at a missing icon, which I can't actually remember, but still it's going to answer those plot holes. And the last one on this list, Stellar Blade, that was announced quite a long time ago, and this was supposed to come out in 2023, and it hasn't, so I can only assume that it's coming in 2024. The game just looks incredible, and the main character, hey, she doesn't look too bad herself. The story is quite interesting as well, as in the near future, humanity is driven from Earth after losing the war to alien invaders. To reclaim Earth, the protagonist Eve and her squad are deployed to fight them and take it back. Fast paced like Devil May Cry. I'm pretty much sold on this game. I just hope Sony do some sort of Sony State of Play just to showcase this game a lot more, because I want to see more of it. And maybe have a release date as well. That would also help. To be honest, I have a massive backlog, so it doesn't really matter. What do you think about the games I have mentioned? I'm sure there are games that I've missed that are coming out in 2024. So that's what you're there for. So drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know. Let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video. What was my previous video? I spent £200 on the PS Portal. I didn't. Shout out to Lewis Kruger. I believe you had a bad lag and quality problems because your PS5 was downloading. So what can happen is your PS5 is using much more bandwidth for the downloads, and it can cause the upload to weaken because it's using much more bandwidth than needed. If there wasn't any downloads, it will probably work better. Really want to get one, but my region will see it only next year because PlayStation Direct doesn't ship internationally. Thank you for the comment, and thank you everyone for watching my last video. And yes, there were a few things that I need to address from my previous video. Hey, listen, I'm not a technician or anything like that, but thank you for your comments, because if I do eventually get the PS Portal, there are a few new tests that I need to do, because first of all, like you said, there were a few things downloading in the background which may have caused it to lag and then turn off. Second of all, I should really connect my PlayStation directly into my router. My computer is, but not my PlayStation, so I should really do that, and also showcase my internet speed from my PlayStation wired and wirelessly, and then also the same of my mum's, just so you can get more of a clear idea. So if I ever do get one, then I'll definitely be doing another video to answer those questions. But thank you for your feedback, because it makes me, I really want one. But anyways, what are you gonna do? It's Christmas now. Anyway, this video is coming out just before Christmas, so I hope you have a great Christmas. I hope you bought yourself loads of presents. Forget buying them for anyone else. Who cares? I'd rather buy stuff for myself. Yes, myself. I'm actually just kidding. Be much easier.